et messieurs, Damen und Herren, welcome back to the second day of our European Nations Cup. Today, our third match, Belgium against Germany. Let me introduce you to the referees. The center referee, Robbie Byrne. The assistant referee, Steve Crump. The assistant referee number 2, Nico Ballin. The fourth officials, Niels Christian Simonsen. And the teams in Belgium with number 8, the captain, Ilan Gang. With number 5, Robin Fiordaliso. With number 6, Mil Kerimov. With number 7, Elvis Bangonko. With number 10, Iago Caudron. With number 12, Gabriel Skodnik. With number 14, Lucas Moreau. With number 15, Florian Lechandre. And the head coach, Robin Caudron, and his assistants, Sed Enya, Michael Hermans, David Henry, Patricia Rivola. And the German team, with number 8, Marco Roland. Number 2, Louise Mittag. Number 7, Felicitas Fischer. Number 9, Efekan Onamnes. Number 11, Thies Ortenstetter. Number 14, Acacio Cosa. Number 20, Ludwig Leinweber. Number 55, Danning Oleg. And the head coach, Nuri Onamnes. And his assistants, Kai Rollmann, Arno Leinweber, Thomas Mittag, and the team manager, Jor Diel. Thanks, everyone. Let's get ready. I'm heading over to the guys at the streaming. Have fun.
Good morning and welcome back to Lignano Sabbiadoro, where the 2025 EPFA Nations Cup continues after a thrilling opening day. We saw hosts Italy announce themselves on the international stage with a stunning 2-0 win over Denmark, and France reminded us why they're world champions, eventually overcoming Northern Ireland 5-1 after a real scare in the first half. If day one showed us anything, it's that this competition will be full of twists, shocks and stories to remember. The atmosphere is electric. The standard of football is already shining through, and every nation knows what's at stake. Continental glory, yes, and those all-important tickets to Argentina in 2026. And now, on day 2, the focus shifts to a packed schedule that promises drama at every turn. Group A gets going in just a few moments with Belgium facing Germany in what should be a fascinating encounter before many other games. I am Ryan Sipple, and I am delighted to be joined on commentary by Greg Baxter to go through every twist, every turn, and every moment across the next 5 days. Excited, Greg?
I could not be more excited if I tried to be, Ryan. Bonjour, guten Morgen. We have, I think one of the games that we circled before we came out here is one that could be really interesting and potentially decisive already in Group A, Belgium and Germany. Belgium, many people's dark horses come into this tournament. A team that could, if anyone was going to cause an upset, they may be it. Germany, bit of an unknown package. We don't know what we're going to get from them coming into this game. Excited to see what they can do on the big stage. As you say, a packed day, full of power chair football action. And if yesterday is anything to go by, we're in for an unbelievable tournament.
Two sides who booked their places here through the EPFA Cup in Geneva back in 2022. Belgium lifted that trophy, and their performances underline their quality and a deserved return to the top stage of European football. Germany finished third in that competition, and for them this marks their very first appearance at a major international tournament. For Belgium, I think this is a big moment. They've been away from the international stage since 2014, but they are back now and determined to force their way into the narrative of Europe's elite. The aim is clear: reach the semi-finals, secure a ticket to Argentina, and re-establish themselves as a real power in the European game. Germany, meanwhile, are the newcomers. This is their first taste of the very highest of stage, and the question is, how much have they developed in the last few years? The EPFA Cup gave them valuable experience, as did the EPFA 4 Nations a year following that. But this is another level entirely. We saw Italy raise their standards to meet the demands. Can Germany replicate? Just to go through the full schedule of today, this of course our opening game, kicking off here in just a couple minutes time. And then at 11:15, all of these times will be in the Central European summertime timing, so please make the necessary adjustments. We've got England versus Scotland. Following that at 1 o'clock, Spain versus France. Ireland versus Denmark, which could be a huge game to determine the outcome of Group B. Germany play their second game of the day against a buoyed Northern Ireland before we conclude with Italy versus England.
The atmosphere is certainly building here, Ryan.
That it absolutely is. The Germans certainly bring the noise. You can see them warming up on your screens. Just to go through the starting four of our two nations, starting with Belgium. Ilian Genk, a player I would encourage our viewers to watch. The number 8 and captain was absolutely central to their qualification, and I have no doubt he will play a big role across the week. Florian Lechantre, many will be familiar with following his impressive performances at the most recent Club World Cup, where he plays his club football with Grafto Villeneuve d'Ascq. They've got Elvis Bonkongu and Iago Caudron, which complement the two others. Germany have their captain, Marco Rollman, a player I would encourage to watch for them. F.A. Can Onanmis and Daniel Olek, both very impressive, and Ludwig Leinweber completes the set. But a really fascinating encounter to get us going in day 2. As always, thank you to everyone that's tuning in. Get your comments and predictions into the YouTube chat. Love to see how you see this one going. I can see Quinton Campion in the chat, was part of the Belgian squad in Geneva. I think he even scored against the Germans in the group stage of that one. It finished 4-1, so their last meeting was in the favour of the Red Devils. And a slight calm before the storm. Germany sticking with their warm-up. Belgium locked in a very intense team talk on the left of your screen, as you can see there. Robin Caudron, their coach, very impressive. As Robbie Byrne, our central official, hailing from Ireland, blows his whistle to bring the teams in. And we are seconds away from the action starting.
Germans now getting a rallying cry. We're in for a cracker here, Ryan. I could just feel it. It may be the first game of the morning, but there is something bubbling here.
You said yesterday, Greg, take your predictions and throw them out the window. Expect the unexpected. Hopefully more of the same here. Looks like Daniel Olek will line up in the centre, which is interesting, and a slight deviation from when I've watched Germany in the past. Marco Rollman has that goalkeeper jersey on. So Belgium playing from left to right, Germany from right to left, and we are underway. Daniel Olek fires it up the court. Also interestingly, Florian Lechantre, who is a prolific goal scorer, has taken a position as the most defensive of the 4 Belgian players. Fascinating to see these different interpretations of tactics and techniques. Both of these look different, certainly in the way they're setting up, than that of competitions in the past. But we saw that with France yesterday, experimenting. Italy likewise. And it's a testament to the development of these nations away from the top stage, as Florian Lechantre, a very brave kind of 4-out approach with him supporting the attack, into Marco Rollman for his first involvement. Just gets locked up by FA Kano Nanmis. The right intent from Ilian Genk. Very congested early on though.
Yeah, just too close together there. Ryan Weber and a Nanmis.
Ilian Genk into the box, met by Iago Quadron. No real danger for Germany. As Ludwig Leinweber just tries to bully his way up the court, does brilliantly well.
Play called back for the 2-on-1.
Yeah, a strange decision that. Whilst I understand it, Florian Lechantre not quick enough in vacating the space. I think Ludwig Leinweber had good possession, good territory, so play could have continued, but an indirect free kick will resume play, to be taken by Daniel Olek. Into Leinweber. You can see the intent. He wanted to kind of let that run across the face of his chair and engage it in a 180. Technique not necessarily there, so Elvis Bonkonku just flicks the ball off Daniel Olek. Some appeals for a corner from the young Belgian winger, but a goal kick, the decision.
I wonder if, obviously Florian Lechantre's classification changed in Paris. I wonder if that's played any sort of difference into playing him as a second pivot.
I suspect that is the case. So just for that context, Florian Lechantre, PF1 classification prior to the Club World Cup taking place, was reclassified in the latter stages of that, which affected his minutes for Grafto Villeneuve-d'Ascq and has altered the way that Belgium approach games. But an incredible player. But will his skill set be highlighted when he's so defensively deep on the court, as Ilian Genk meets the captain of Germany, just surrounded by German shirts. A cagey opening 3 minutes as Belgium continue to pressure. Right decision on that occasion. 2-on-1. Belgium are going to want to iron that out of their game.
Really defensive shape from Germany when they are under the cosh, bringing that wall in, suffocating Belgium on the edge of the box, not allowing them any space to flick, get them across to the far post. We saw Momo Galami do that a lot of times for France's Northern Ireland last night. There's a gap here. Marco Ron was pushed all the way up. And that was a kick into Germany, but don't want to get too far up and leave too many gaps.
Iago Quadron lets it run across his chair and attempt at goal. And a flick from Daniel Olek off the front corner of Quadron's chair. They're just finding their rhythm and pace. Both of these two did engage in a couple of behind closed doors friendlies prior to the competition kick-starting. So they'll be familiar with the venue, the surface, the atmosphere, but I don't think anything can really prepare you for these competitive games. So I essentially completely disregard anything I watched in those, because already shown by Northern Ireland and Italy as it fires off the back of Marco Roman's chair. That's really unfortunate, but the moment you sit still is the moment opposition can capitalise. Belgium 1, Germany 0.
Yeah, unfortunate there for Germany, just leaving too big a gap between Oleg and Roman. Got to say, you can't leave a gap that big, because things like that will happen. We've switched it around now, and Lineweber's moved into the middle, and that's exactly what you don't want to do from kickoff. It was too softly hit by Lineweber, but Oleg came in, immediately gave away a 2-on-1. Discipline's got to be there for Germany.
It has. You can just sense the nerves a little bit, which is to be expected. This is the absolute pinnacle of European power chair football. But again, I'd love to talk to the German coaches and understand that decision to take Marco Roman out of that real central role and put him in goal, because he's so influential when he plays there. And we're seeing a lack of communication and organisation between Oleg and Lineweber that they're going to want to sort out. It's the right intent from Ilian Genk, but not enough for Iago Quadron to catch up. But overall, you have to say, bright from Belgium. Whilst they haven't had a great deal of opportunities, they've had the lion's share of possession, and Germany struggling to break that press.
Yeah, Germany just haven't got passing going at the minute, have they? They're just trying to sort of dribble and force it up the court a little bit. And Belgium are, to their credit, showing good signs. Front bumpers are being used. As Lineweber just...
There's two passages of play there. The initial goal kick, which seemed to break past Ilian Genk up to Ludwig Lineweber, and then that second phase of play is brighter. They just need to get their timing going, and if they do, they could be a real threat. But alert from Florian Lechantre. He's been very isolated on his own in the Belgian half. Controlled by Daniel Oleg. Elvis Bonkongu just restricts that line and does brilliantly. Hasn't got to engage it. Saw the pace and the trajectory of the ball, and it was always going to roll out for a Belgian kick-in.
Oh, Genk's got round. Oleg drives at the Germany box. It just, almost for a second, I thought it was going to roll between Roman and Oleg. But they recover, and now Oleg drives the Germans forward. Was not enough pace on that flick, though. To a Nan miss.
It's just a slight tendency for those three attackers of Germany to be drawn into the same ball at the same time. But it's fair to assume that Belgium were coming into this as the favourites, and they're showing exactly why. In a couple of minutes' time, we will observe a water break to ensure the players are hydrated and rested. Very hot and humid here in Lignano Sabbiadoro. There's Daniel Oleg into the centre. Just a nice pick-off front bumper from Ludwig Lineweber. And you called it, Greg. 2-on-1 in favour of Germany. That's better. It all starts with the accuracy on those initial free kicks or goal kicks. And it's in a really promising area. Indirect, so has to go via the chair of an opponent or a teammate. But arguably their greatest opportunity to register a chance at goal 9 minutes in. Daniel Oleg to take. Ludwig Lineweber just shielded by Iago Quadron. If O'Cannon and miss, the only real option. Into the box, and it just wide of the right-hand post. Ludwig Lineweber was almost reluctant to engage it, due to the placement of FA Kano Nanmis, didn't want to move any more forward because it would have been a certain 2-on-1 in favour of the Belgians.
It was a nice move to win that free kick from the goal kick though. A nice little flick round the corner, drew the 2-on-1. That was their first real chance to threaten the Belgian back line. And the front bumper was there. FA Kano Nanmis just too close on the post for my liking. Ilian Genk now battling with Marco Rollman.
Yeah.
Two captains.
Indeed, neither want to really engage it. Nice pick off into Ilian Genk, doesn't make the connection, but had he done so, could have almost certainly been a second. The danger still present. As we tick over into 10 minutes at the next stoppage, I suspect Robbie Byrne will signal that water break, a potential break there for Germany. Ricochets into the path of FA Kano Nanmis, who has an attempt at goal. It just flicked off the front corner of Ilian Genk. So we're going to observe the water break, and following that, Germany will have a corner ball. It's better. Germany are growing into this game. If I'm to give them any advice, is that positional awareness. Try and restrict those 2-on-1 infringements. Keep momentum, keep the pace of the ball, and just look to break, because Belgium are committing players forward and there will be defensive vulnerability if they persist with that.
Ryan, thoughts on having a water break just before a corner?
I think at the 10-minute mark it's just observed. So whilst you would like to maintain and capitalise on the momentum of forcing your way up the court, you've got playing devil's advocate. It could give them a really good opportunity to ensure that they execute a certain corner ball routine. You can see Nuri Ananmis, he's out of shot. The camera's panned to him. He's got his tactics board out, kind of going through a corner set piece routine. So let's see if they capitalise.
You're right though, Germany definitely growing into this game. Started off shaky, to be expected, some nerves. First game, but as they've got into it, yes, they're a goal behind, but they're starting to relax, get their basics going. That's what they're going to have to rely on, their fundamentals, their basics. If they execute those properly, then they'll be in good stead to build on what they've done so far.
You can see Daniel Olek rearing to go at this set piece. It looks like Ludwig Leinweber will be his closest option. They're just coming over to talk to one another. So interestingly, the two wingers have switched sides.
And really interestingly, Belgium are going for a wall from a corner. They're going to leave that near post open.
Yeah, very dangerous. Certainly if Daniel Olek can find the accuracy into Ludwig Leinweber. He lets it run, and the Belgians manage to clear. Disappointing for Germany. If they're setting up that way, you surely have to capitalise on that space and intend on aiming for that near post. The screen over to FA Kano Nanmis was never there because of the way they set up. Maybe something they'll become wise to if they are to be awarded any following corner balls. Again, just a tendency for the two wingers to be drawn in together. It's deemed too forceful from Leinweber. So a contact foul and a direct free kick to be taken by Ilian Genk. Iago Cordron, the only real option. So I suspect that will be the intended target of the Belgian captain. Just fires it into that very congested area off the front of Elvis Bonkongu. Bonkongu into Ilian Genk. Yeah, I think that's been the tale of this 14 minutes, is that high prevalence of 2-on-1s for both sides, as a matter of fact. I can't really disagree with the assessment of Robbie Byrne.
Olek. Onames flicks it down to Lionweber. Battling with Genk. Who leaves it for Kumkongo. Genk across the Cordron. A touch from Onames.
Dangerous, isn't it? But he's going to have a potential. I don't think he's going to catch up to it. Really unfortunate, but definitely the right intent. I love the fact that he stayed in reverse, and had he reacted even a second sooner than he did, the opportunity could have presented itself because of the placement of Florian Lechantre, who's desperately coming over to cover the face of his goal. It's better from Germany, but a break here for Ilian Genk and Belgium. Straight into the side of Daniel Olek. Potential overload, but Florian Lechantre, as he has done in the 15 minutes we've played, he's brave, he anticipates, he shows his class and quality in completely nullifying any and all German attacks. Daniel Olek. Marco Roman now has to be careful of his placement, staying in the confines of his area. Again, 2-on-1. The decision.
Take your pick of 2-on-1s there. The Germans are 4 in a line.
Yeah, absolutely. It's something that is the take back from this half, as Belgium make their first substitute of the game. It's Robin Fiordaliso on in place of Elvis Bonkongu. And can he come on and make an immediate impact? Ilian Genk here, indirect free kick. Iago Cordron is not an option due to the placement of Daniel Olek. You can see a little bit of tussle in the box. And for the second time, our central official comes over to talk to the German defence. Ilian Genk's going to have to drop off immediately should he go to Iago Cordron. Look at Robin Fiordaliso at the back post. I suspect he will be the target. Cleared by Daniel Olek. Kept live by Florian Lechantre. Nicely taken by Cordron. Controlled by Marco Roman. Fantastic support from the Germans. As Ilian Genk into Cordron. I think he was just caught in two minds there as to how to engage it. And that moment's hesitation meant the attempt was never going to lead to much. We're now 2 minutes away from that half-time break. I have to say, an intriguing first half of football. Belgium, yes, the better of the two. More possession, more attacking intent. But Germany are growing in their defensive organisation and their confidence. And will we see them capitalise on that in the second half?
They just need to cut out the 2-on-1s. That discipline. But they are really growing into this game, trying to do the right things. As nearly again another deflection off the back of Marco Roman.
Yeah, it would have been a complete carbon copy replica of their opening goal. But you can see Marco Roman a little bit more aware to it. I think Germans will be disappointed because it was a really unfortunate goal to concede, you have to say. Beyond that, they haven't had a great deal of efforts. Ilian Genk's in the box. Iago Cordron to take, maybe acting as the screen to Robin Fiordaliso. Just flicks off the captain of Belgium, who's going to try and force it over the line. Marco Roman rooted to the spot.
Ilian Genk was just trying to flick it into the gap between Oleg and Roman there. Oleg nearly swung into the side of Ilian Genk. Inches away, I think, from giving away a penalty. Maybe this time they'll try and screen it. Or front bumper from Ilian Genk.
Daniel Oleg. You can tell that he was looking for FA Can Onanmis. Contact foul once again awarded by the referee. It's not overly aggressive there from Daniel Oleg, but you will see a different level of leniency when it comes to those contact fouls. And you can see Ilian Genk had a sight at goal. He did go for it, so it needs a clearance or a readjustment in the German defence. And now 40 seconds over the regulation 20. Belgium have a corner ball. Germany will not want to concede here. Over to FA Can Onanmis. Nice brave pick off there from Ludwig Leinweber. A very interesting setup there from Onanmis. Would have really liked to have seen him just take that in his stride.
That was a chance for a counter-attack at least.
Again, that hesitation and being unsure as to how to best engage it just completely loses you the time, pace and the momentum. The pace is so high, and I can only suspect this is just a level that Germany have not experienced before. Yes, these two have faced one another in their history, but this stage far greater than anything they have experienced. Half-time break, Belgium 1, Germany 0. It was Marco Roman's own goal in the opening couple of minutes, which sees Belgium have that goal advantage. But following that, I have to say Germany were better defensively, better in terms of their positional awareness. And the question will be, can they reverse this scoreline or even just register some attempts at goal? They have had some territory in the Belgian final third, but just haven't had the time in Andor connection to trouble Florian Lechantre. Thank you to everyone that's tuning in. Greg and I will be back very shortly for the second half. We are back here underway in Lignano Sabbiadoro for the second half, with Belgium holding a 1-0 lead over Germany. The only goal so far came inside the opening few minutes, an unfortunate own goal from Marco Roman, who could do little about it as the ball ricocheted off his back bumper. Since then, it's been Belgium who have enjoyed the lion's share of possession. They've controlled the tempo, moved the ball with composure and pinned Germany into their own half for long spells. But despite that dominance, they haven't really clicked in the final third. Their link-up play has been neat, but the cutting edge and clinical finish that you expect from a side of Belgium's quality hasn't yet materialised. Belgium to kick things off. The whistle is blown. We are back underway. Immediate pressure from EPFA Can Onanmis. Germany, to their credit, grew into the game after the start. They've looked more comfortable as the half wore on, even if they've not seriously tested Belgium's defence. We highlighted before kickoff the tendency to give away unnecessary 2-on-1 infringements, and that's been evident here across the first 20. If they can tidy up their play, be braver with their positioning, take a few more risks, they'll give themselves a better chance of asking questions of Belgium. With the Iago Cordron in possession on that right-hand wing. Corner ball within the first minute. The team's unchanged from that finished the first.
Got a design set play here for Belgium from the corner. The flick, oh my word, the flick from Ilian Genk at the near post.
Yeah.
Just hit the back of Marco Roman's chair and they get to do it again. But you saw that, they set up with both players at the far post. Genk making the darting run to the near side.
It was a beautiful deft touch from the Belgian captain. Marco Roman desperately covering his near post. As the danger very much present. Ilian Genk going at it alone with his two wingers wide on either wing. A nice pick-off from Marco Roman, the right intent. Had he managed to get really in front of that, EPFA Can Onanmis could have been set away unopposed on the left wing of Germany. Roman disappointing on that initial kick. I was going to highlight that the little success that Germany have had across this game has been when they've ensured that precision and accuracy on those dead balls within their own half. But on that occasion, pretty poor from Marco Roman, which invites immediate pressure from Iago Cordron, and now they're straight away they're condensed and will be on the receiving end of this indirect free kick to be taken by Ilian Genk. Fiordalizo in the box into Cordron. Nice connection, but into the side of Daniel Olek's chair.
There was a gap at that near post, wasn't there? Daniel Olek just crept forward. Brilliant ball from Ilian Genk. Fiordalizo, that ball had just gone to the far post. Cordron would have had a tap-in for 2-0. What a ball that was by Ilian Genk, Ryan.
Yeah, serious player. Robin Fiordalizo, since his introduction, hasn't really found the pace of the game. He was tested there. I think the Germans are far stronger on their right than they are their left. So it is limiting the opportunities of the Belgian number 5. Ilian Genk with another indirect free kick into Robin Fiordalizo. Again, EPFA Can Onanmis, and that's another really unfortunate own goal off the front of Daniel Olek on this occasion. They will be so disappointed that the 2 goals in Belgium's favour have come off their own chairs.
I'm going to give Iago Cordron massive credit there. He's delayed his 180 ever so slightly just to try and put it through that gap between Olek and Rollman. He knew what he was doing. Yes, he's got slightly fortunate that the deflection off the front of Olek's bumper has taken it in the near post rather than going straight through to the far side. But that was a deft attempt from Iago Cordron. What I would like to see Germany do is their kickoffs. They're inviting every single time it's been a 2-on-1 giveaway.
If they rewind that back, they'll look at that initial opportunity from Efe Can Onannis as an opportunity to break into the Belgium half. But his hesitation just invited the pressure, and the goal eventually came from it. Whilst it is unfortunate that both have been own goals, Belgium are firing it into really dangerous areas, putting Germany into some really uncomfortable positions. So they're almost inevitable as Fiordelizio pushes it into Marco Rollman, engaged by Iago Cordron. And already Belgium looking more proficient in this second than they did in the first. It's a beautiful pick-off from Robin Fiordelizio. Cordron can't make the contact, but you can see when they get them passing patterns going, Belgium are a real threat. Once again, I haven't got a tally as to how many 2-on-1 infringements have been awarded against Germany, but I suspect we're fast approaching the double digits.
I think we're already in double digits, Ryan, to be honest.
Genk into Robin Fiordelizio. Don't think he was necessarily set to receive it. Ilian Genk took it so quickly.
Belgium have definitely taken it up a notch in the second half. Ilian Genk has come out and he's started to spray the ball a lot more. Front bumper pickoffs are back in. They are starting to play the football we know that they can. Again, another
It's definitely a 2-on-1. I don't disagree. Robbie Byrne brilliantly playing advantage, but all three outfield German players were drawn into that, and Ilian Genk is going to force it over the line. No goal, the correct decision. But we spoke about the positional awareness, something they got better at as the first half went on. But in the second, whether it's Belgium's proficiency in that high press or Germany just succumbing to the pressure, it just isn't working. You can see Germany are readying a change. Akashio Kosa preparing to come on. As Marco Rollman, they just can't get those first initial goal kicks and free kicks out of danger. It's a brave press from Belgium, and if Germany were a little bit more proficient in their counter-attacking play, there is opportunities to be had. We saw how good Northern Ireland were yesterday against France. Yes, 5-1 to the world champions, a scoreline that isn't kind to their opponents, but both of these will be aware of Northern Ireland's threats and how they nullified France's attack. That change for Germany is going to be made by Nuri Ananmis. Daniel Olek coming off. He'll be disappointed. Just trying to see where Akashio Kosa takes his position. It looks as if he will operate in that central role. He's going to be involved immediately, and it ricochets off his bumper. Very fortunately for them, a 2-on-1 awarded against Belgium on this occasion. But again, those goal kicks are so square, so rooted to the side of that central player's bumper that they can't get the angle to distribute to one of their wingers, and on most occasions it just falls kindly to either Iago Cordron or Robin Fiordelizio as Ilian Genk tests Akashio Kosa. Genk's going to engage this. He saw the gap. The ball still present in the box. Iago Quadron to follow up the attack. Had that had just 10%, 15% more power from the Belgian captain, it would have been a beautiful goal. The timing, the technique definitely there.
Brilliant effort from Ilian Genk. Let's see again, this time going back to having two players at the far post. Genk will make the darting run again. They're just trying to get it off the ricochet of Roman's chair, and Genk can swing in and put it in that near post. Potentially would have liked to have seen Daniel Oleg given a chance on the wing. It was more natural.
It's where I've always known him to play. Very proficient, very attacking. Not too dissimilar from that of Florian Lechantre in terms of their international experience at the EPFA Cup 2022 and the EPFA Four Nations in 2023. Daniel Oleg exclusively a high and wide player, as Florian Lechantre was. But then if we're talking about how they've set up in competitions in the past, Marco Roman playing an unfamiliar role. So it'll give them food for thought, there's no question about it. It's just if they can do anything to get back into this game, because 31 minutes in, they haven't registered a shot at goal. They've had little to no territory in the Belgian half. And Belgium looking to put other nations on alert as to their threat, as to their quality. And barring a miracle, you would suspect Belgium will be cruising their way to victory to join France on 3 points at the top of Group A. England versus Scotland next up. The first game for both nations in Group B. Cassio Cossa now the most defensive of the four, so they've obviously tried to switch things up. Marco Roman in a more familiar position. That's better. Ludwig Leinweber, beautiful ball over to F.A. Cano Nanmes, who attempts an effort. Brilliant defence from Florian Lechantre. That is much better from Germany.
Where's that been for 32 minutes? What a phase of play. Cassio Cossa, the sort of shielding from Marco Roman. The ball comes across to Leinweber. Brilliant contact. And that effort from Nanmes was inches away from getting past Lechantre at the near post.
For me, all Ludwig Leinweber there. The timing, the connection, that splitting pass. And I have to say, Marco Roman needs to operate in that central position. Acting as the screen, Leinweber was ready. Cassio Cossa already in the couple of minutes in which he's featured, exhibiting better distribution, more assured, more confident, which is asking questions of the Belgians.
Tell you what, Lechantre lucky there. If that had gone off the front bumper of Leinweber rather than the corner, Ilian Genk was caught too square. I think that was just going to roll straight into the back of the Belgian net. Fiordaliso across. Iago Quadron winds up just a little bit too early. Genk tries to recycle straight into Leinweber. Now they just lock it up and wins his side. The kick in.
Yeah, sensible play there. I think we'll see this timing, this confidence improve across all 10 nations as the week unfolds. As mentioned time and time again, the pace of this level of football is truly unprecedented, certainly when you're referencing the domestic game. Marco Roman met by Florian Lechantre. Iago Quadron rooted to that top corner. Have to watch it back, but
he's been consistent with the 2-on-1s as referee Robbie
that's for certain.
He's been consistent. He has been hot on them. Yeah, he's been consistent.
I've watched it back. it is harsh. Well, it's not harsh. It's dead on, if anything.
It's well within the referee's purview and jurisdiction, you'd say.
Yeah.
One that can be called. Weber, Rollman.
Would like to have seen Rollman just go for a pick-off there. Taking the time to turn, just invited pressure from Iago Cordron.
Oh, there's contact there with the back of the chair, so that'll be a free kick for Germany, who, since that 30-minute water break, have played a lot better.
Much better.
A lot better. Maybe a question of what if for head coach Nuri Anamnis. Had they started like this, would it be 2-0 to Belgium at the minute? Swing and a miss from Marco Rollman. Battling with Iago Cordron. Flicks it back to Cossa. Cordron driving now. Rollman's got to get back. Cossa turns Cordron around. And then Cordron says, we'll go back that way, thank you very much. Into the corner. Can he get round it? Yes, no, he can't. I thought he kept it in, but he didn't.
Yeah, unfortunate there for Iago Cordron. I mean, 4 minutes remaining, plus any additional time. I suspect that high quantity of 2-on-1s will result in a couple of minutes being accrued, as Ilian Genk deemed too forceful. Again, they're the ones you could see some referees allowing to continue.
Or if anything, for me, Marco Roman was spinning. Referee's always right, remember that.
Casio Cossa, can you replicate that precision? You can see Rollman looking to act as that screen to Ludwig Leinweber, but it needs that initial power and accuracy, which it unfortunately didn't have. Going to have a substitute for Germany. It will be FA Can Onanmis that comes off. Louise Mittag coming on. And Elvis Bonkongu re-enters in place of Robin Fiordaliso. Didn't have as much involvement as I suspect he would have wanted, but valuable minutes nonetheless. As Le Chantre into Ludwig Leinweber. Trying to understand the official decision. I think something may have come loose off the back of Ilian Genk's chair.
Chest harness has come undone at the back. So this will be added on to the additional time. Encouraging, I'd say, the last 10 minutes for Germany going forward. I mean, they've worked out they've not given away nearly as many 2-on-1s. They've looked better going forward. They've got the nerves at the system, perhaps, shaken off the rust in that opening half an hour. What is a difficult game for them. You know, one of the favourites in the group, Belgium.
Yeah, you're not wrong with the strict awarding of those 2-on-1s. I thought there was enough there. As Ilian Genk into Le Chantre. Nice combinations, but Iago Cordron just not alert to it. And again, another 2-on-1. I said we were approaching double digits if we hadn't done so already. We're probably into the 20s as we approach 39 minutes. Very strict, which is unfortunate for Germany. Le Chantre to take. Indirect. Bonkongu in the box, now shielded by Marco Roman. It finds its way over Thiago Cordron. Patient play from the Belgian number 10. Seeing on that angle, Lechantre on the edge, waiting to capitalise should the ball find its way to him. Ilian Genk, Ludwig Leinweber. Cordron into Bonkongu, and another 2-on-1. It should have been awarded far sooner than it was, and it's probably been awarded for a different one than I had spotted in the centre. 5 seconds of regulation time remaining.
As it cut out there by Bonkongu. Can Belgium finish with a flurry? The ball straight into Leinweber. I would like to see Thiago Cordron try and front bumper that back to Florian Lechantre rather than taking it into the dribble. Ball had gone out for a kick it to Belgium, taken quickly off of Ludwig Leinweber. I think Germany are trying to make a
late change there to bring Feli Fischer onto the court.
Have they told the fourth official? The ball's been out of play twice now.
Interesting decision to make a change so late on, certainly when you're trailing. And whilst 3 points are a certainty for Belgium, we highlighted the importance that goal difference could play in the overall rankings of Group A and Group B. Just for that context, the 2 top finishers in the groups of 5 will automatically qualify not only for the semi-finals, but earn their ticket to the 2026 FitBut Power Chair Football World Cup. Beyond that, the 3rd and 4th finishers will go into a series of playoffs across 2 days to determine who takes that 5th and final World Cup ticket. Out of play, final whistle. Belgium have had the perfect start to their Nations Cup campaign, running 2-0 winners here against Germany. Both goals came in unfortunate fashion for the Germans. The first half, it was an early own goal from Marco Roman. The second, after the restart, when Daniel Olek turned the ball into his own net. For long spells, Belgium were dominant. They controlled possession, creating a string of opportunities, and certainly looked more assured throughout. It was a performance that underlined their experience and composure, even if they didn't always find the clinical edge in front of goal. To Germany's credit, they responded well after the water break in the second half. With Marco Roman pushed into the centre, they looked far more threatening, creating some good chances, and they're showing what they're capable of. So while Belgium will be delighted with that win, Germany too can take positives on their debut on the European stage.
Yep, Belgium stamping their mark on the tournament. Germany, they have some positives to take into their next games at least.
It looks as if Ludwig Leinweber is down with Piero for interview. Be interesting to hear his assessment of the 40-minute game as they look to get back into this. Over to Piero.
Okay, here we are with Mr. Ludwig Leinweber.
Hello.
Ludwig, there was a tight match. How do you feel?
A bit exhausted
Yeah.
and a bit sad because, as you said, it was a tight game, but we could not really get into the offense. We are stuck in the dribbling, couldn't really get the passes out. It was a really tough game for us, but I see forward because we still played good, and I hope we're gonna win next game against North Ireland.
Yeah, sounds great. I wish you best of luck for that.
Thank
What do you think about the other team?
Belgium is really, really great team. I like them. Last year in the Geneva Cup, I played with my club against them for a third placing match. It's always a nice game against them, to play against them, because it's fun to play against. Yeah.
All right. What's your goals for the next match?
Of course, win. And in the defense, we got the only 2 times they scored was because of own goal from us. So we are good in defense, but still need to improve in the offense. And yeah, just score goals and win the game.
Thank you so much. I will you the very best for the next game
Thank you.
and have fun. See
Thank
ya.
you.
Thanks very much to Ludwig. Thanks very much to Ludwig. Now we're gonna have from Belgium our captain. Are we? Monsieur Ilang Gang. Do I pronounce?
Florian Lechantre,
Okay, I received another one. You are number
15.
15, Florian Lechantre.
Yes,
Sorry.
no problem.
Florian, here we are. Great match.
Yeah,
Congratulations. How do you feel?
I feel very happy
Yeah.
to debut the competition. I'm very happy.
Great. You guys played very well. It was very tight. How do you want to prepare for next match?
A good sleep
Yes.
and good recovery, and we prepare to next match.
Yeah. All right. So I hope you have a very, very good rest. Enjoy the other matches and get ready for the next one.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to you.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Thanks everyone. Thanks to our captain. No, sorry, you're not captain, Mr. Florian. Yeah, vice captain. And I'll see you very soon at the next match. Bye.